Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. Today we're chatting about foundations, but not only are we chatting about foundations, we're talking about drugstore foundations that I think are absolutely comparable to their high-end counterparts. So these all have a great shade range. I've got options for different skin types as well, different coverages, whatever it is you're looking for, and I have reviewed each and every one of these, so I will have the review link down below if you want some more information. But in every review, I'll do a before and after, flash photo test, how it looks in natural light, and show you how it looks at the end of the day. Okay, gold standard when it comes to foundation reviews, if you ask me. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. And if you're curious, like, which one of these is your favorite? Like, these are all of my favorites for different reasons, so I'll talk about why I like them all throughout the video, but let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's talk about this one from NYX. I think that this is such a good foundation if you're looking for something matte and full coverage. Of course, coming with NYX, it has a great shade range. I wear the shade Caramel in NYX, and I really appreciate that the shades sort of carry over from line to line. A lot of great things about this foundation. You're getting a full fluid ounce in here. It comes in glass packaging, which is not only nice, but at the drugstore, you'll have a little bit of a better opportunity to try and see if it's going to work for your shade. You do get a pump. It is a little bit messy there. That might be a little bit more human error, but basically if you're looking for something like, what can I compare it to? Like any of the good, I mean, a lot of the high-end foundations now are not doing like high coverage matte, but like, remember when Urban Decay came out with that super matte high coverage foundation, or maybe the Kat Von D, those earlier day foundations, or even like an Estee Lauder Double Wear. This to me is definitely up there in comparability. Is that a word? Really great coverage. It's also buildable. So if you don't want to wear this full coverage, you don't have to. You just obviously put less on your face. You can mix it in with a moisturizer. Very versatile. And it doesn't look, it looks like makeup obviously because it's on the like more flat matte side, but it looks like really good makeup. I like using this with a sponge, but you can totally use it with a brush. And I like to put a more hydrating primer underneath it even when I was oilier. Right now I'm kind of probably airing towards more combo normal, but I can still absolutely wear this and it looks really good. A foundation that really surprised me and I think is absolutely underrated is the Revlon Candid foundation. This to me has such a luxe feel to it, and in look and in feel on the skin. It comes in 22 shades, but I think that that's a fairly good range. I mean, it's not 40 shades, but I'll take it. It's not as high coverage, so this one claims to be a more natural finish, a little bit more of a medium finish. You're not getting a ton of product in this one, which is kind of the biggest downfall. You get 0.75 fluid ounces, so about 25% less than the average size of a foundation. I really do need to revisit the original Revlon Color Stays, but this I feel like has great coverage. It's medium, it looks like natural on the skin. It's also oil-free, paraben-free, phthalate-free, free of synthetic dyes and fragrances, which I know a lot of people will be happy to hear. I wear this in the shade 440 Caramel. The other thing to note, and actually with kind of all of these foundations here today, I love the concealer counterparts of all of these as well, but I think that this is such a good foundation. If you've overlooked it at the drugstore, like the packaging is a little bit annoying because you can't fully see through. And again, we have another messy top here, so maybe it's a me, not a them thing. But I think this is such a beautiful, natural looking foundation. And if you're looking for something at the drugstore, this is definitely a very unique formula. I don't have a lot like this, especially from the drugstore, so I think it has been overlooked and I definitely want to give it some love. Now let's talk about another foundation that really blew me away. First of all, I was just shocked to see at the actual shade range, and it's from Essence. So depending on where you're from, Essence shows up very differently globally. So sometimes people comment, they're like, well, there's only 2 shades where I live, or there's 31 shades here, or wherever. So it's going to be a little bit different depending. I think Europe tends to have the best. But I'm not sure about shade range in Europe. It may be a little bit better in North America now. Either way, this is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. Oh, I should say, in my review for this, I was wearing a lighter shade beige, but I do have an updated video, so I'll link them both below. And same can be said for this one. So when I initially purchased this myself, I think I was wearing shade 170 or 180. Then they ended up sending me some more shades, and I realized I'm closer to 200 warm sun. But I was able to make that work. The great thing about this, 31 shades, cruelty-free. There's no alcohol in here, no oil, no microplastic particles. Good. But this is the Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation with hydroluron. It's got hyaluronic extract in there, along with aloe vera. So it's hydrating on the skin. But what I'll say about this is I was filming videos, I was testing it out, I thought it looked good, and then when I looked back at pictures and videos, my skin looked so beautiful. It has a medium coverage, I believe they're saying, yeah, medium coverage, long-lasting wear, and a natural finish. I think that the majority of skin types would like this, unlike, say, the NYX is very much more suited, in my opinion, for a more oily skin type, or definitely more normal to oily. I think everybody could enjoy this, but you may just want to sort of work on your prep for it. So if you have an oilier skin type, I would probably put something a little bit like a light hydrator or something sort of matte underneath. If you have a drier skin type, I would definitely put something more hydrating underneath, and a more normal skin type, well, you're just lucky and you probably wouldn't have to do much. But so impressed with this, really glad to see a better shade range from Essence. I want to see it sort of multiply throughout their line in terms of the blushes, bronzers, concealers, all the things they come out with being a little bit better suited for deeper skin tones. But I think that this is a great start. It's also the most affordable of the bunch that I'm mentioning today, and it absolutely does not perform like it is the most affordable. Absolutely such a great deal, and definitely check it out. This foundation blew me away, and I've always been a fan of, like, L'Oreal makes great mascaras. I've tried other foundations of theirs that I really liked, but I felt like I never fully got the perfect shade from them until I tried this one. This one is such a good shade for me. It's more on the neutral side, especially when you compare it to other drugstore formulas, and even comparing it to other formulas from L'Oreal. A lot of the time they tend to be really, really golden. This one is in the shade, I think it is in the shade Golden something, is it? It's in 485, whatever that is called. Yeah, Golden Sun. But it's definitely like more neutral than any other foundation I've tried from them. It comes in 40 shades. You get a really nice pump glass bottle so you can see what it looks like through there. And the thing that I like about this is it is super long wearing, it is really light on the skin, but it has this natural matte finish that is very skin-like. And I think if you have a more mature skin, if you have textured skin, this is just a really sort of friendly, I don't want to call it middle of the road and make it sound like kind of like it's a little bit whatever, but it's like if you do have sort of some skin issues and say the NYX was going to be too matte for you, the Revlon Candid sounded like it might be a little bit too light for you, this is the foundation. Honestly, if someone comes to me and they're like, I want to try a drugstore foundation, they're not super familiar with their skin type or exactly what they're looking for or exactly what they want, this is probably the one I would recommend because it's very easy to work with. I think it's going to be the friendliest to most skin types, and yeah, it was just really, really impressive to me. So I have not only a full review on this with a wear test, but I also did like a full face of L'Oreal around that time or something, so that will all be linked below. You know what's interesting is, or I think is interesting anyways, is a bunch of these foundations I actually had kind of low or no or like not great perceptions going into it, because the Colourpop foundation, the liquid foundation that they released, was abominable. It was horrible. Like, at least with most foundations, I can be like, oh, when I put it on, it looks good, but when I wear it throughout the day, it oxidizes, it does whatever. That was like bad from the jump. And creating a stick foundation, I feel like, is even harder. But for some reason, Colourpop was like, yeah, we absolutely screwed up the liquid. I mean, they didn't say that, but I said it. But the Colourpop No Filter sticks, wow, these really, really impressed me. It comes in, I believe, 40 shades. Another thing that impressed me is just having such a good shade match. So this is medium dark 130C. This is one of the best color matches of any foundation I've ever used. I think that the coverage, what do they say? What are their claims even? Seamless skin-like finish, covers blemishes. What are you talking about here? Vegan and cruelty-free. They don't have like actual claims in terms of like coverage and finish, but it has, like, I believe, like, they do say skin-like finish, and I would agree with that. It's sort of this natural satin finish, but what I love about it is just how easily it blends into the skin. I'm not pulling and dragging. I can go in with a brush or a sponge. Really so beautiful. I actually should probably try getting a lighter and a deeper shade to do some cream contouring with it as well, but I mean, Colourpop comes out with a new collection every 30 seconds, so if you happen to be on the website and purchasing some of the other things, definitely give this a try. And I believe the last few times, and now I haven't ordered from them in a while, but the last few times I have ordered from Colourpop, they have been shipping out of Canada, so a lot less of the shenanigans when Colourpop initially launched, which made it harder to purchase, but definitely didn't stop me. Now, Covergirl makes some of my favorite foundation products, and they've always done a pretty good job with shade range. Sometimes, well, I mean, back in the day, they were a little bit pink, but they have come a long way, and there was a lot of products of theirs, like the Outlast Powder, one of my favorites of all time, the Outlast Foundation, one of my favorites. So I was so excited when they came out with this line, especially because my skin was oilier at the time, and because they had such a great shade range and put so much, like, it seems like time and effort into actually doing a great shade range. My only kind of complaint with all of these foundations is I wish that we could get the full shade range in store, and that's kind of like, you know, a Shoppers Drug Mart Walmart problem over like a CoverGirl NYX problem. But anyways, the CoverGirl Trublend Matte Made Comfort Foundation. I love this. I'm in the shade T30 Warm Honey, and the thing that I really liked about this was the way they divided up the shades. So I think they had like maybe light, medium, tan, and dark or something like that, and then they had ranges in between. It was like, you know, pointing out different undertones, things like that. So this ended up being such a great shade match for me. If you're looking for something that is matte and long wearing, but perhaps not as full coverage as the NYX, I think that this is such a good option. It's definitely buildable. You can get medium to fullish coverage, but I would say the NYX is like full, but this is really nice. Looks lightweight on the skin, has really good wear time. I find the CoverGirl stuff generally has had a great wear time in the past. I almost debated including their active foundation, which I feel like nobody talks about in the squeeze tube. I'm not even sure if it's still available. But yeah, it says it has 12-hour wear. I mean, I'm never really, I mean, I feel like 12-hour wear is like a very reasonable claim, but it says it's a matte formula that's not drying or cakey. It has oil absorbing powders in there, helps to minimize pores, has a soft matte finish, which I think is really nice about this, and also cruelty free from CoverGirl as well. And I've got the pump and the sort of see-through packaging, so I really appreciate that. And then lastly, this is another really good one from NYX. So if you're looking to purchase from NYX, this is, again, has 40 different shades. I wear the shade Caramel in this. It is the Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. And if you've heard me rave about the NARS not Naturally Radiant, whatever the NARS tinted moisturizer is that I love oh so much. Not only is it similar in packaging to the NYX, but also in formula. So I would say that this is pretty close to that in terms of look and feel on the skin. Has a little bit more coverage. What do they claim in terms of coverage here? Natural Glow Liquid Foundation, medium coverage that lasts all day. Oh, sorry, 45 shades, which is awesome. And it says it's suitable for oily or dry skin, cruelty-free, vegan formula, and dewy glow. And I would agree. I think that if you do have super oily skin, this is actually a nice foundation for you because it's not greasy. There's no shimmer in there. It's not like oily or anything like that. It just has this really nice kind of natural glowy look on the skin. Obviously, you're going to want to powder it. You may need to touch up throughout the day, you know, if your natural oils are coming through and bringing on your own natural glow. But I do think that this is such a good one. Again, like I mentioned, all of these are reminiscent to me of higher end foundations, but this one definitely comes probably the closest in terms of look and feel on the skin. And I feel like you hear so many people talk about the Can't Stop, Won't Stop, but I definitely wanted to give the Born to Glow a little bit of love in here too. Again, a really great shade range. It is a squeeze tube, and this is not the actual shade, I'm pretty sure, that you're seeing through, which like that just annoys me to no end. Like just let me see the color in there. But yeah, this is a really good one if you're looking for, this is probably the glowiest of the bunch, but again, I don't want to scare you away by saying glowy. Like it's a beautiful glowy. You have to trust me. So those are all of my favorite drugstore foundations. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know down below what yours are. And as always, if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!